Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome back to Corner. I have no idea what episode this is, episode 10 or 11. But today we are going to talk about the state of a certain company that you might have guessed from all three of our DPs. We are going to talk about KTM. Is KTM going to come back? Is KTM going to recover? Is KTM going to shut down? What is happening with KTM? What wrong did they do? What happened? What can they do to make themselves right? And so on, so on, forth. And we'll also talk about who is this bike for and some things about Japanese bikes. So today we have Ronin with us, we have Anabolic Hashil with us, and myself. And let's start from the top. So, Ronin, what do you know about the current scenario? What is happening in the
So
KTM?
apparently they have a very big amount of debt. I mean, a huge amount.
$3 billion, euros, sorry,
Yeah,
3 billion euros. My bad.
euros. Yeah. So they have a period of around 90 days or so. If in 90 days they won't find any fundraiser, so they would be declared bankrupt by the Austrian government.
Yes, they have 90 days to figure out the thing. So, as far as I'm aware,
Mm.
they have dropped out MV Agusta. MV Agusta was sale.
Yeah,
And
they
as
was
far as I'm
dropped
also
out
aware,
from the portfolio, and
yes, they have also halted
also
production of new bikes for a
yeah,
certain amount of time. I mean, I believe is it 9 months or 14 months or 90 days,
they
something like that. But they have halted production.
yeah halted the production for like around a shorter span than 6 months and all.
Mhm.
Apparently, the gas and Husqvarna bikes are also on hold right now. In fact, the ownership might be at risk because KTM owns Husqvarna and gas both, and Husqvarna is in the bike world. Yes, for its heritage, it is known, but for in general bike and like this kind of psycho stuff, Husqvarna is not known for that.
KTSCon is not fun for that. So we'll go over these things. Now,
Mm.
out of all three of us, Harshit and me, we own a KTM, and Ronan owns Bajaj. Bajaj is partly owner of KTM.
I think one of the major reason can be global recession,
Mm-hmm.
and second thing is KTM is developing bikes which are pure, for the enthusiastic people, not for the mass market. I
Mm-hmm.
would say,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes, yes, about
Also, talking about recession, there is a huge like sort of what can I say, like layoffs had been going on from since a long time, like since last year. These German brands like VW and WAG Group in general, and like
Stellantis is also part of it. The entire
Stellantis
Stellantis group.
and
Yeah.
Stellantis ho gaya, and your KTM has also been in there. MV Agusta had layoffs, so they're laying off their employees since a long time. And this global recession thing was already at peak since last year, and this has now dropped down by that.
Yeah.
And
So
KTM
what
KTM is affected by it by a long margin because last year KTM has reported 100 million in profit.
euros profit?
Yeah,
No,
100
last
million
year
euros.
it was last year it was 180 million euros profit, and last year it was 100 million euros loss.
So we
I
never
The
expected
loss,
that
right? But the number
in
was
general.
100 million euros.
mm,
Yeah.
Exactly.
The point is, what happened is during COVID, no, people thought that they had a lot of money, so people were spending a lot. So KTM over manufactured their bikes. They
Manufactured
made
their
too
bikes.
many bikes, and now they have bikes worth what 1.5 years in the lots lying, because people then, after things got normal, people realized that we don't have so much money. So let's not spend as much money, and they did not buy bikes. And KTM made too many bikes, so they went into
KTM
debt.
made too many bikes.
I
Yeah.
think one of the major reason which I can pick, like lot of other manufacturers, the Indian manufacturers. Let's take like Hero MotoCorp or Maruti Suzuki. So
Yeah.
these people, what I have observed, like they have a lot of reserves with them. So, for
Mhm.
example, if Mahindra, we can say, or Hero Motocorp, they have reserves. If they are already in loss, they can use that reserve. But I don't think so. KTM has that much kind of reserves in their bank.
Yeah, the
Uh,
financial management is too bad.
Yeah,
it is,
and
yeah,
the
the budget management.
bikes, like for example 1390, 1290s, 890s, the amount of people, like the people who are buying these bikes are very less.
Yeah,
We cannot
Mm.
say like a large amount of bikes are getting sold.
they do not cater the
Yeah,
mass market segment
that's
simply
the issue.
because Ja- see why Japanese are at the top of the food chain when it comes to profit making
Mm,
margins and all, because Japanese manufacturers like Yamaha, Honda, these guys make mass market bikes more than the enthusiast centric bikes.
agree.
That's why they can take big decisions like Yamaha X the R1 and Suzuki X the Gixxer 1000. So I mean
750 and 1000.
750, yeah, 750 K7 Gixxer also.
Yeah, they finished
So
the so.
that was a big
Well,
move, and
Even
they can easily cut the production off from be it from any bike. If it's not they have a simple thought in mind. If it's not giving you profit,
if
cut
it's
that
not
out.
making
yeah,
you money, just
that
cut it
is
out.
why Honda Activa is still alive in India with 5G or 6G. I think it's 10G now, right?
7G.
7G. Oh my god.
I'm
Friend just
waiting for
bought a
Activa
Honda
10G.
Activa and he was like, "Bro, I wanted to buy a scooty, and the only name which came into my mind was Activa."
Yeah, because
Scooty,
if you see the ad for Honda, no,
Yeah,
there's an
yeah,
ad for Honda, and they say the ad basically translates to scooters are called Activa,
yeah, exactly.
exactly, and that's literally
and it is
called
true.
scooters. Scooters are not called scooters in India. They
You're
are
Correct.
correct.
synonymous
The
with
Activa. Yeah,
Yeah.
Activa term.
Yeah, so like
exactly.
people literally ask you which Activa do you have, and that is crazy. People ask you which and you have to tell them which Activa I have. I have a Suzuki Access
Excess.
125, or I have
That's not an Activa,
30.
buddy.
That's not Activa, but so that's one question people ask. So one other thing about KTMs is a lot of people have been talking about reliability of KTMs. Now, as far as
Yeah.
I have been concerned as owning a KTM myself, Harshad has owned a KTM
Mm-hmm.
more than me. Harshad has a 2019, right?
19, yeah,
Yeah.
2019 March
PS
2019
4
model.
KTM
manufactured.
RC390,
So
the
he's got a
sharp headed.
2019 RC390 Gen 1. I've got a 2022 RC390 Gen 2. But what I've realized is, personally, and also, I mean, Harshit can talk about his experience, which he said
Yeah,
he
like
use
it
use the bike
is.
what it's made for.
Yeah, so 2019, it's 2019 March manufactured. So the bike is, I would say the bike is pretty reliable. The only thing which bike needs is periodic and frequent maintenance.
Constant maintenance. Yeah.
For example, I'll tell you one thing which is the main in the RC390 with respect to the older engines is regarding to the crank.
Hmm.
The crankshaft of the engine fails
Yeah.
at 5,000 kilometers also. If you do not replace the oil filter at early interval of time, or let's say if you do not replace it, that air filter which costs around, I think, $100, so that gets choked and your crankshaft just goes.
Which is also the problem happening with 790s.
Yeah, that's
Crash.
that is happening with the camshafts.
It's in the
Camshaft
whole
is what
bloodline
it
thing.
So
is.
it's on the extreme ends.
Yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
glad my bike had that issue solved out. But as an owner, I would say KTM really demands you to be on top of your service. You have
Exactly.
to be on top of it. Like Japanese bikes, you cannot afford for a European manufacturer in general, for a European bike, to miss your services. For
Yeah.
example, today I was out with my friends, and one of my friends has a TVS, and one of my friends has an Aviator. Aviator is Honda.
Yeah.
Honda and Jupiter is TVS. So we were on the Jupiter and we were like, it's shaking and all, it's vibrating. So a Honda, his Honda, we were talking about that, his Honda is slower or the brakes are not as good. And he just said, Ki, so what happens? I haven't serviced my bike since 3 years. He's like,
Bro,
it's been 3 years I haven't serviced this bike. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
bro.
Even I met a guy
Three
today.
years.
I was on a ride, okay. So I met a guy, like he had this CBR 250R and it was
Uh,
14 years old.
Uh,
uh, Great
And
bike.
that bike was running smoothly.
Yeah, so there is something you can abuse Japanese bikes. You
Yeah,
Yeah.
cannot do that
exactly.
with European bikes. Maybe to an extent, but don't do it because after that they're going to make your pocket run dry.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
another thing about KTM is they had to lay off around 300 employees, as far as I was aware. They also
Hmm.
shrink their executives from, I believe, 7 or 9 to two.
7 or 9 to 2. Yeah.
Okay. And the executive, so they are shrinking down. So they're taking measures to save themselves. Also, because KTM is a big company,
But
someone will
one
save
more thing I would like to highlight here, like I know they are in loss, but the quality of the products has gone up.
it. It has.
It's not like they have done cost cutting anywhere. Even for the Duke 250, they have provided the TFT, good tires, and the front LED lights.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are doing that. They
Yeah,
gave you the
They're doing
color
great.
that we wanted
yeah,
since such a long time. In
Black.
my model,
All
black,
black.
all black. In my
yeah,
model of the bike, the quality is impeccable. The Gen 2 RC quality is very good. I have no complaints with
yeah.
anything except the quick shifter. It's trash, but apart from that, the bike is very good. KTM has to work on the quick shifters. Apart from that, the bike is meant to be a high revving engine, and once you use it as a high revving engine, it's an amazing bike. But uh, why are they not being sold as much? It's not like Ronan mentioned. It's not a bike for the masses.
It's
Yeah.
not a bike for the masses simply because you cannot you simply don't want a problematic bike in general. See, this is the same set of issues with German cars also. So apparently I was researching on German cars also. So KTM is part German, you can say that, because Austria was a part of East Germany.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Before separation, Austria was a part of East Germany, and second most spoken language in Austria is German. so I mean, that issue of child parts, and if you do not timely replace any kind of even a minor slightest part, like your fuel pump, or like your fuel injector motor, if you do not replace that timely, you can get a major expense at the stake of your pocket.
But
Yeah.
one more thing, like I can see every manufacturer is struggling in this market at current moment. So
That's
why
because of
only
global
them?
recession. Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Because
they
of
are suffering simply because Japanese makes uh, bikes for the masses. As I earlier mentioned, KTM is like KTM is a brand that is not even it's not their tagline ready to race. It's actually their nature. They are ready to race. They are made for enthusiasts and for the people who go for more tracks and kind of prefer hyper riding so much. So I mean, they are
also
built for maniacs
also
simply.
KTM doesn't have a commuter bike. KTM makes, like you mentioned,
Yeah,
Yeah,
KTM
that's
makes
true.
yeah,
track ready bikes, off road ready bikes. They make for rally. They have been winning Dakars and all.
They're very specific.
They
yeah.
are very specific. They might be
Hmm.
pulling out of MotoGP because of this, which I think is a wise decision
Is a wise
for
decision.
now.
Yeah,
I agree.
for
For
now
now,
as
I
well.
mean, I am a KTM fanboy. I was rooting for KTM this entire time, and I have to say, in the last MotoGP season, KTM was the only bike that was giving any sort of visible competition to Ducatis. Of course,
To the
Ducatis were
Ducatis. Yeah,
ahead, but KTM could have
that
done
too
it.
with
They were,
having so much of vibrations at the rear end on the bike. Like
yeah, we
it
had
was
Ricky
crazy. It
was
was
we
crazy.
had
This
Ricky the
season was
rear ends
goated.
just vibrating, the tires
Yeah,
vibrate. So we know that the bike with little bit issues, the bike could have done better. I think
Hmm.
Pedro, which no, what is it? Pedro? I think the gas rider. I'm not remembering his
yeah,
name, but he said that this bike is capable of defeating Ducati. I
yeah.
feel it. And KTM was doing really good, but I feel it's wise to pull out of the season. But it's better to re-enter the season maybe 2 3 years down the line rather than never
Yeah.
going in.
Rather than never coming back like Suzuki did
Yeah,
back in the days.
and
One more thing, like which I feel is like I think most of the profits were coming from the India market,
Yeah, it
and
is. It is
the
true.
brand image of KTM, which became in India in last few
it's not very
years.
good.
Nah,
Oh my god.
that might be the reason which I feel, because most of the sales from the Indian market, and the sales just went down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It went down in Indian market. It went down abroad also internationally. Most of the sales I believe are coming from India and then Europe.
Yeah, even the competitors which are there currently in the market are pretty good. I would say. Like for example, the Aprilia RS 457.
They are good, yeah. They are trying
Yeah.
to. They're trying
That
to.
is a
Now
promising product. Yeah.
all the competitors are playing at the same price point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Triumphs 400s. We
Triumph
have
400. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
BMWs and 310. TVS is 310 is a weird, but now BMW's 450 engine is coming, so I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they're going to put that 450 in their naked sports and sports bike as well.
I don't think
Big
so.
off.
I don't think so that they are going to share it with TVS.
Mm.
No, they
Otherwise,
won't share it with TVS.
yeah,
That is for sure.
because because apparently the RR 310, it's the same engine of the BMW, but why no one buys it? Because simply TVS uses that in a 1 lakh, 1 lakh, or no, actually
30,000,
not 1 lakh, 50,000
50, 60,000.
rupees cheaper bike. So I mean
More
that
premium options.
more
And they
premium
won't
options
Yeah.
you have. You have Duke 390, bro.
new one. Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
Duke
Even the
390
most
I,
black
selling
version.
most selling product is currently the Duke 250.
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
It's not the
It's,
390 now.
it's not the
It's
3.
the best value for money package.
Yeah.
If I would have not any budget constraints, so I would have gone for the Duke 250 rather than going for the NS 400Z. But
Yeah, the Duke
okay,
is the number one selling.
Duke
MC,
250
we
is a
have the
it's a
buyer.
great bike.
Why KTM like is they are not selling the product? I mean the price issue also.
We have the
Yeah,
reason
Yeah,
here,
we
boys,
have the
and
real
that's the
example.
end of the podcast. Ronin is. That's it, boys. That's a wrap. But I came across a post on the subreddit for KTM, the KTM subreddit, where a guy was asking that, guys, now that KTM is in trouble, should I buy the bike? And
Mm.
I was expecting a lot of people to be negative in the comments, but surprisingly, people were not
no,
negative. People were supportive. People were saying that, see, it's not going to shut. Some people were giving their own experiences that I have personally owned a 1290, 990, 819. I have not had issues. I had a deep discussion with a fellow 390 owner as well, and he said that if you keep the bike maintained, his bike is at what, 50,000 miles or 55,000 miles.
Is it
And
miles? I think
miles.
it is
Okay,
close to
Miles,
a
miles.
lakh. I
absolutely,
believe,
that's
Okay,
right?
miles without an engine
okay,
rebuild, guys.
Close to a lakh
Without an
kilometers.
engine rebuild.
Yeah.
And
okay.
and he said that he got his valve clearance done at 35,000 miles, and he said it was
Bro,
still fine.
Damn.
So, but he also took care of his bike like his own child. He really looked after the bike. He said it got done at 35,000 because at 30,000 miles he sold it to his friend, and his friend for 5,000 rammed it like anything, and
oh,
that's 5,000 miles, and it got a valve clearance. But he said they got it done, and now it's still running. He bought it back from his friend, and this was a normal Reddit chat on one of our rides on which Harshit was there. One Suzuki broke down, and guess who saved the Suzuki?
Euros saved
KTM.
the
The
Japanese.
KTM.
KTM. A KTM. You will see an orange KTM. Like towing a Suzuki with my foot. I towed it for a good 30, 35 kilometers, something like that. And not towed, like partially, we were just using the slope to come down. But the fact that a KTM survived and a Japanese, no, not to mention any Japanese brand, Suzuki is part of the big four. That's something to say. People say that you can abuse Suzuki's. Apparently, the Suzuki
uh,
was abused.
That is not
Apparently
true now.
that was a jixer. The
Chickster.
most abused title in the
What
history
is
of
that?
biking.
ADV 251. What's the name of the bike?
Uh,
Uh, the V-Strom 250,
Yeah,
V-Strom
the V
250.
Strom. I have seen a lot of videos like where the engine
strong,
was making knocking sounds and all.
strong open
Just
rebuilds. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't think like Suzuki is.
So
And not any more reliable Suzuki.
the point is that these Japanese brands, a lot of these bikes are not actually being made in Japan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They're
that's
also
why
being,
the most of Yamaha R15s are like the engine is getting open now.
yeah, the new ones are going out because
Yeah.
the ones that are just in the beginning when being made in other countries, the QC was on point, the quality control was on
yeah.
point. But as things go up, things get laxed.
But even
And
I think most of the companies are doing cost cutting now. Of
companies,
cost cutting in the market right now. Every brand is
companies
doing.
are doing
Mahindra is doing.
and the price
Every
has gone
brand.
up.
Yeah, prices has
Prices
gone
are
up.
gone.
Prices have gone
Yeah,
up. And KTM
Most
is
of
that
the
that
one
is
brand.
money, I think most of the money is going towards the marketing side. That's what I think. I'm not sure, but
It
I
is.
think it
It
is going
is.
because nowadays this
Taxes.
marketing thing is very up in the moment. I think most of the money is going in the marketing side.
We also pay
Yeah.
a lot of taxes. That's a
Yeah, I agree.
different
Bro,
conversation.
look at KTM themselves. Like Rock Bagorosh is their stunt rider,
Yeah,
and he charges a hefty amount to like even shoot a single video or even a single reel. That pays him so much.
yeah, that's true.
He can own a 390 for sure. Than that, he pays that much. I know that. I know about that.
And it works.
It
People
works.
know him a
Yeah,
lot.
that is
It
true.
works.
It
People know
works.
him. He's very famous.
Yeah,
Even if people don't know his last name, Bagos, if you just say rock on block,
yeah,
people
Yeah,
recognize, this is the stunt rider.
rock on from KTM.
Yeah, it works. And KTM has upped their quality. If you see, KTM were initially cost cutting because they had to bring cheap sports bike. The initial
Cheap sports bike. Yeah.
the
390s and
BS3 one was very
200s,
cheap, I would say.
yeah, they were cheaper.
Mm,
And as they went up, they started getting better parts. The cost started going up, but I feel it's
Yeah,
justified.
yeah.
I agree.
Now, KTM, I think someone is going to save them because they are not a small company. They're a big company and they can become a money making company. We are not sure if Bajaj will save them or not.
Bajaj should save them again. I would say.
I mean,
I would
everyone is
say
saying
again.
Bajaj will save them. Bajaj will I am not sure.
But I
I'm,
think Bajaj should also play safe, right?
yeah, because 3 billion is a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, and
It's a B. It's a billion with a
yeah.
B.
Or
That's
else
it.
I think they'll cut down every Austrian employees from their company and they'll just keep this Indian folks.
Like
Uh,
what has been done to Royal Enfield in their earlier days.
Yeah.
It
but
was
that
a
would be
British
bad.
brand. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
That would
British
be
brand,
bad.
and
That would be
I think
bad.
the owner is
the
Eicher Motors, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Of Royal Enfield.
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But if Bajaj does that, that will be very bad for KTM.
The quality control will be terrible.
Will
I mean,
will be very terrible because we know Bajaj
Yeah.
cuts corners with pulsars with their Pulsar brand. They do it.
yeah.
They can save them. I mean, what I feel the plan that KTM is going forward with right now, selling of MV. Please get rid of the MotoGP team.
MotoGP.
They have turned down their executives, they have removed jobs, they have laid off people, so they are cutting down cost. And they have made a very along with these good decisions, they have made a very risky decision, that is complete R&D on the RC990R.
Oh,
Oh, that is a costly project.
That
that
is
will take up a lot of money.
Yeah.
A
so
lot.
So it all I feel it also depends on the success of the RC990R. If firstly, I'm sure people have started pre-orders. People are begging for me. If KTM is taking them or not is a different thing, but people will be begging for
Mm,
pre-orders. If KTM starts taking pre-orders, the first thing that they will have to do is deliver in the time that they will promise for those
Promise exactly.
pre-orders. If they don't deliver and they delay it, then the repo of KTM will go even more down. It's already low.
They have already a reputation of being unreliable with their camshafts.
Yeah,
Globally, not even in India. Globally, they have a
globally, several
reputation that
countries
the
have been getting.
camshaft
mm,
can blow up anywhere, anytime. You don't know. It's a time tickling bomb.
Yeah, and but also it is a gamble because if the 990
Hmm.
works out, if it sells a lot,
Who
then
knows?
they will make
Who knows?
seriously, then they will make a lot of money because
but
if it
but
sells a lot, no? Hmm.
but 990, I feel, according to the other markets, okay, what I feel 990 is pure super sport, only for the racetrack. And what other manufacturers are doing, they are going towards the sports tourer. Look at
Sports
that
Sports tourer
Suzuki,
sites. Yeah.
Suzuki 800. Which one is that? The twin
8R,
8R,
8R.
the
J6
Daytona
8R.
660,
Ah,
and
don't call
every
it a Daytona. Yeah,
I mean the
yeah,
660.
the Daytona
It's not a
660, the
Daytona,
8R,
bro. It's not a
CBR
Daytona.
650 RR.
650, yeah. So I mean KTM is still there, and other manufacturers have moved
Pushing.
towards the sports tourer. I mean they are moving toward the mass market again.
On the
We have Honda.
contrary, KTM,
We
yeah,
have
on the
we have
contrary,
Honda
KTM has their adventure bike section for touring and like
for mass
sports
markets.
touring
Yeah.
for mass markets. Yeah,
Yeah, the adventure bikes sell more. more than the
Even the mass market bike is not actually a mass market bike. It's
Yeah,
also for pure enthusiasts,
exactly.
for hardcore dirt bike enthusiasts.
yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a gamble because now a lot of people like you and me, maybe we cannot be able to afford a 990 because we'll come as an imported unit in
Hmm.
our country.
Yeah.
But in a lot of other countries, they have said that the price will be around $12,000,
Okay.
That
which
roughly translates to
10 to 12, which translates to in India around 13 lakhs, 12 to 13 lakhs, or
Hmm.
14 max. If you can take purchasing power parity, if you take that, not direct conversion,
uh,
then how
I
much?
don't think so that will work. I don't think so that will work because uh, supposedly the best middleweight is also right there standing beside Triumph Street Triple RS. You know about it. We all know about it. How great of a bike it is in itself,
Hmm.
and it's not even selling at this point. Like there are hardly any buyers for the RS variant. People are buying the R variant.
People are,
RS
people are,
variant is, however, a costly decision, a costly affair
which
too.
is which is why we have as you were saying, KTM has again made a niche bike.
Yeah,
But
it's
my
purely for enthusiasts.
Yeah, but again, what I was saying is a lot of people like you and me, we kind of want super sports. Of course, we don't have the money, but maybe somewhere someone might have the money to buy the bike. So now it depends if that number is 1 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. Again, I don't know. We don't know. It might sell. It might not because it doesn't have a rear seat.
Yeah.
Single seater.
It's a single seater. It is a track bike. It is a track. It's a street
Yeah.
legal track machine. A lot of influencers will buy it, and a
Yeah.
lot of people who do giveaways will buy it.
Guys, आज
Yeah.
हमने
Yeah.
करी
Vinod.
हाइपर राइड. Guys, आज हमने करी हाइपर राइड.
I doubt people in India will buy it. So
Hmm.
the 1290s, 1390s, and 990s coming in India are being sold. People are buying them. These influencers are buying them. And a lot
1390,
of
yeah, a guy called, I think, Atharva or
Yeah. He's from
Max
Pune.
Trist Manthan. Yeah, from Pune. So he bought it and he brought the same bike to like Speed Wars India and to the launch control event also. That happened few days ago at the BIC track, Noida, the Moto-Gp track.
Mm.
So he used that bike properly. I mean, that's pretty great.
It's pretty great. Yeah, people are buying
Hmm.
it in India, so people have to. But one bike
And
will not.
using it where it is meant to be.
So I think they have to sell. They need to sell at least a few thousand RC 990s. A few thousand. I'm
Probably.
saying that number loosely. Few thousand.
That number is in itself unimaginable. Like,
It's imaginary number.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm just loosely throwing it out like a few thousand.
I think the only manufacturer which is playing strategically at the moment is Triumph
Yeah.
because they have bought T4 also, which
Yeah.
is under 2 lakhs.
under 2 lakhs. Yeah.
And that is
P4,
also,
Speed
Ex
400,
showroom,
Speed
ex showroom.
500.
Yeah,
yeah,
Uh,
quoted ex showroom,
at
not on
showroom.
road.
the 660 also, Daytona 660 also, quote unquote Daytona
Yeah.
660 is also apparently it's around 10
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah,
And I think in international markets it's about 7,000 or 9,000.
Yes.
yeah.
So Triumph is playing it safe. Triumph is coming out with
Hmm.
safe bikes. They're playing it wise. Suzuki also is playing it kind of safe. Yamaha is still like, I we don't give a fuck. If it doesn't give us money, we're going to axe it. I respect them for that. I respect them. But
Yeah.
the point here is the crux of the conversation is that we have a company. I mean, this kind of shows us the state of the current world economy. We have a
Yeah.
company which makes bikes for enthusiasts, and they are dying. And then we have companies which make bikes for profit, and they are doing fine.
They're doing so great.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Huh.
they're doing fine, so fine that Honda has the CBR 600 double R back.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but they are it's Japan only, or and
Yeah.
few some more Asian countries, but it's not
They
in
are
Japan.
basically completely made in Japan, but imported to only few European nations. Not even in
Very
America
few
one
Southeast.
can buy
It's
that.
not. It's not in America. It's very few. It's
Hmm.
it's firstly it was Japan only. and then
Mm.
few Southeast Asian countries, and some. I'm not sure if it even it is sold in some European countries or not. I'm not sure yet, but now maybe it might have been coming in some European countries. I wasn't sure
They're
previously.
they're available for Gulf countries though.
Uh, Everything is available for Gulf. They can buy you and me.
Mm,
Uh,
They've already bought one of our guys, man.
yeah,
mm.
So, but Honda is playing it safe in that way, where they are not mass marketing, mass producing this bike and just selling it everywhere. I feel it's an on demand bike. Like they probably make 5 bikes or 10 bikes, and they wait for those 5 and 10
they
bikes to
wait
be
for
sold
this. Yeah,
until
Yeah.
they don't make the next one. Whereas
simply
KTM,
because no one wants to put their money on KTM.
whereas
I
KTM
think
now
the
At
has
least
im-
at least not a sane person, not a sane person.
for
Like
the
we all are crazy, bro. We can put our money on that, and we if any problem occurs, we will be happy to solve that. But again, not everyone is like that. Not everyone is an enthusiast. Not everyone wants to throw the money like crazy. Like this is my love, and no one wants that. That's why mainstream bikes are more successful.
the I heard rumors that they are developing a 650 parallel
Yeah,
marketed as the 690 Duke. I heard rumors, but now I know that they have shut down all R&D for the next few months. So that is gone. New
that
RC3
idea was scrapped. Yeah,
and are gone,
even
but
some of the fake news are floating around regarding the 490s.
490
nah,
that
nah,
is
that is
that is
never
that is
coming.
Yeah.
that
That
is a
is never
7.
coming.
Yeah, that's a 790 or just a previous 390 images.
So just one question like which I have like for you guys. Like how they gonna save it? I mean
So,
what do you guys think? Like how they gonna survive? They still
so
have the
like
Bring
I
back
money.
the
mentioned,
super sports.
like I
Hmm.
mentioned, first thing that they're taking decisions like they're
Hmm.
selling MV. They have turned down their staff, the executives from 907 to 2. They are laying off people. They are probably getting rid of MotoGP. If they do get rid of MotoGP, then I think that they have their chances of being safe will increase by 30 to 40%.
Increase.
The moment
Yeah.
the moment the
Hmm.
confirmation comes that that they're axing the MotoGP, this thing, their MotoGP division, 30-40 chances of them being safe goes up. And they are not manufacturing more bikes. They are putting a lot of faith in the 990. If the 990 does good, then as Ronan said, bring back the super sports. Every Duke,
Hmm.
every engine that has a Duke should have an RC also. I believe that.
Yeah.
Not
That's
250,
true.
maybe not 250, maybe two, because 215 390 is pretty close. Maybe the RC 200, they have an RC 125, RC 200, RC 390. Get an RC 690, get an RC
Hmm.
790, get an RC 890, or now
Insane.
990. Sorry, now 990. 990 is already there. Get an
Yeah.
RC 1390. Trust me, because if people buy Ducatis of that power and R1s of that power, people will buy an RC.
People will buy a KTM
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
People will like, and
I-
then make it reliable.
That's what Yamaha is doing, na? R9, MTO9, R7,
Yeah, yeah,
MTO7.
yeah. And they are axing parallel. They are axing inline force. KTM already has parallel twins.
Yeah, I agree.
Those companies are coming down to parallel twins. The R7 is coming. The RS 660 is also parallel, I
Yes,
believe.
it's parallel
And
only.
GS8R is also parallel. So those companies are coming down to parallels. KTM has pioneered parallels. KTM should do good. Bring the sports. Screw it. Make a sports tourer. Make a sports tour
Yeah,
category. Do
I
it.
agree.
KTM can do it. Make a sports tourer. Make a 790 sports tourer. Put hand raised handlebars on it. Give
Hmm.
it a fairing and all that. People will buy it. Make it like a versus. Like people say, versus 650 is a jack of all trades. You can do sporty riding. You can take it adventuring. You can take it anywhere you
Nah,
want.
nah. Just try a 390 ADV. In fact, you will enjoy more than the Versus 650
You
on
will.
a 390 ADV.
You will. The only up that the versus 650 has, it has an extra cylinder, which makes it
Exactly.
smooth.
It has that power. Yeah.
So that concludes us this podcast. It was long, but that concludes us saying that KTM will be fine. If
Sure.
KTM is going to stick to what they've said they will do, It'll be fine. Someone will save them, or they might just sell. They'll
And we
sell it
want
as a conversation.
KTM's comeback just like Honey Singh's comeback.
Oh no, no, please, please, no, no,
Yes.
no, 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 no.
Bro, Badsha
नहीं.
is disappeared,
अरे
man.
भाई,
Badsha is
अरे भाई.
gone. It's all honey. 990. Stop at 990. KTM, what did they say? What did they stop the 1190 RC by saying it was a death machine, sports bikes are dangerous and all, and then bloody they make the 1290? I mean, that makes sense.
That flies
Actual,
off on single wheel on the rear wheel.
yeah, make sports bikes. And
Yeah.
that's about it. Thank you for joining. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and comment for the next section that you would want to hear about.